Hello and welcome. Today we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Despoiler. So the Despoiler is another of my Corvette series, and like the rest of them, it is a small, light, short-range patrol boat. Corvettes are meant to go ahead and defend local outposts, star stations, or just you know, patrol the local airspace of your major cities. They're not meant for any long range deployments. Be able to go out for maybe a week or so without refueling and resupplying, and that's about the top of it. However, they are pure combat ships, and for these, I put no restrictions on starship design. Um, Most of them are Class A, and this one is as well. And I am making use of the ship flip glitch to build this ship. Now, if you've been looking at the picture, you will notice something very obvious at the back. So when I was designing this ship, I saw somebody on Reddit post a very interesting kind of tail fin configuration. And I decided I want that. I went ahead and I built the tail fin configuration. Then I was like, what sort of ship should I slap this on? And this is the result. So that was kind of the whole point of this entire build, but it made a somewhat interesting ship. So let's go ahead and do the very quick tour. Alright, so you see we are immediately entering into the first 2x1, which is going to be the Hope Armory. Right up front we have our docking bay access. Here's our weapon slots, our brig, the one door in the back leads us all the way back here into the 2x1 all-in-one berth. You can see we've got 4 beds, a bathroom, a little galley, a small relaxing area for whoever is not piloting the ship at the moment. And then hop on up here and we are in the Kontiki Bridge. And that is the ship. So let's go see how this ship is built. Yeah. Alright, so step 1. Let's go ahead and get our colors in our palette. You can see I went with basically 2 shades of gray and then a red. And then let me delete this and start building. Alright, so first things first, I am using the Hope 4 landing bay. Immediately off of that, I have the Tayo Armory, and not Tayo, the Hope Tech Armory, the Hope Tech all-in-one berth, the Hope 11 Docker, and then for the cockpit, you have your choice of using either the Overseer 400 or the Kontiki B400. Now, note that these two bridges are basically identical, except for the Kontiki gives you 4 crew, whereas the Overseer only gives you 2. Realistically, though, it just boils down to which one you like the look of more and which one you would rather fly with. For this particular build, though, I did go with that Kontiki bridge. Alright, now let's go ahead and talk reactor. So, for this ship, I am making use of the Sphermac DC-202. This is the best Class A reactor in the game, and you can see it produces 33 power. However, it only has connections at front and each sides. You will notice there's not a back connection piece right here. This means that I need to go ahead and figure out some way to get this connected right under here. How am I going to do that? Simple enough. First things first, I'm going to pull it off to the side. And then I'm going to come on over to the structural tab. I'm going to grab the landing bay, pull that off to the side. And I'm going to form this little kind of L shape. Then I can go ahead and stick the reactor connected right here. And then I can duplication glitch a Deimos hull up over it. Then I can delete these. Now it's very important to note that as of right now, there is exactly nothing that is connecting the reactor to anything outside. So if you try and move your ship, your reactor is going to fall out. So what am I going to do about that? I'm going to come on over here to my landing gear. And I'm going to go ahead and grab the pinpoint 3G landing gear. Connecting this one to the back connection point of the Hope 4 lander. And then using the rear variation that is connecting to the Deimos hull. Now, since this is connected to the hull, which is connected to the rest of the ship, it is also connecting to the reactor. So now the reactor is pinned into place, and I can go ahead and move this whole ship. So let's go ahead and repeat that on this side. Alrighty. Now, for my next step, let's go ahead and just finish this bottom piece here. So, one thing you could go ahead and put here, especially if you wanted to save some weight, would be a Deimos belly. Putting this on kind of smooths that surface and looks fairly nice. However, this is also the perfect spot for some cargo. You can use the 100 cm ballast cargo hold, which is just going to give you 550 total cargo before it skills, which is perfectly acceptable. Or this ship's power does have enough to still give us 80 plus mobility with the 10T hauler cargo hold. And you'll notice that gives me 925 cargo. Now, as mentioned, this ship is going to not be at 100 mobility. So if you want better mobility, change this cargo hold out for something else. Alright, moving on. Let's come on over to the structural tab and then scroll all the way on down until we get to the Nova cowlings. And then I'm going to place one Nova cowling right there. Then I'm going to come on over to the fuel tanks and find the M30 Ulysses HE3 tanks. Now, either of these spots I can put the fuel tank. It's just whichever one I want. And I need to flip glitch that into place over the landing gear. Now, if you wanted to, you could stop with just one. That's probably sufficient. However, I chose to put two on this ship. Then, I'm going to go ahead and copy that Nova cowling and fill in the rest of these side slots. And again, I have to flip glitch it into place over the landing gear on each spot. Copy it all on over, turn around, and flip glitch it into place. There we go. Alright. Now, coming on over to the back of this ship, you can come on over to the structural tab, and we will go ahead and just toss on the Hope Tech Nose B4. Just cover that up a little bit. Alright. Now then, next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put my shield right here. So for this ship, I am using a top-mounted shield, which the best one that mounts on the top is going to be the 60S. From there, I'm now going to come on over to the structural tab, and I'm going to start building my tail components. This is going to start with the Deimos Spine E, placed right here. Now, before I go ahead and kind of build this whole tail section out, I'm going to cover this. For that though, because I have something here and here already, and there's no connection points on the back of the bridge, I need to temporarily move the bridge out of the way, And then I can grab literally anything that has a connection point right here. This is just temporary attachment piece. And then I'm going to come on down to the Nova cowling. And specifically on the 2LTA. And then I'm going to flip glitch that into place, connected to whatever this is. And then I can delete that and put the bridge back. And we are all connected and good to go. So that means that all that I have left from here is to go ahead and assemble the tail. Now, for this bit, it is a little complicated, so we're going to go ahead and connect things and then disconnect them. Let's go ahead and start with the first piece. First things first, we're going to grab the Hopetech Pipes 4. And then we are going to come on over here and we're going to grab our grav drive. Now for this ship, I was able to get away with the Helios 300 grav drive. We are a little bit too heavy in the end for the Helios 200, but the 300 is sufficient. Now that that's in place, on the bottom of this, I'm going to go ahead and connect the Deimos Skeg A in the aft configuration. Next, I'm going to move this out of the way, move this out of the way, copy the Deimos Spine E temporarily, and put the pipes on top. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab the Deimos Spine G. Now, I'm going to note I'm doing this to get this to go through the middle of the grav drive and get the weapon slot up top. This is unnecessary. I just did it because I like this appearance more. However, you could very easily skip this step and instead just slap an equipment plate up top. Now that I'm done with this, I'm going to delete this spine, hold the pipes down, and then duplication glitch the grav drive down connected to the pipes. There we have it. But wait, there's more. Now we're going to pull the pipes off again. And now on the front of the grav drive, I'm going to go ahead and grab a Nova wing. And then I'm going to duplicate the Nova wing, flip it over, and connect it to itself. Now I'm going to take the Nova wing that's connected to the grav drive, flip it over, duplicate it, flip it, connect it. Then I'm going to grab the Nova wing one more time and flip it into place. Alright, now I'm going to pull those middle Nova wings off, come back over here, and grab the Hopetech Nose B4. Then I'm going to go ahead and take these Nova wings and flip them into place again. And then the Hopetech pipes and flip that into place. And there you have it. Finally, we have the connections all done. From here, I can go ahead and connect my engines. Now for this ship, I have two SA-4330 engines. Done just like so. And that is the ship. Now, one of the things that I do want to make note of here is that if you were to swap this Helios 300 grav drive out for like the R2000 or R3000, then the side connections that become available will connect these engines, and you don't necessarily need to do this whole thing. You will still need some sort of connection coming from here up to the grav drive, but exactly how you do that is more up to you. Another example thing that you could do is you could go ahead and say replace this with a cargo hold, probably the like 100 cm ballast cargo hold, and then have the pipes connected right here. That's just probably what I would end up doing if I didn't want to have the pipes on top of this. Alright, enough rambling. The last thing that I'm going to look at for the ship is my weapons. Now, for this ship, you will note that I am currently using 12 of my equip power out of 33. Now, if I have two weapons fully powered, that's another 24 power, putting me up to 36. But any viewers of me this know, I have the anti-electronic fusion skill, so I have 38 power available to me. So because of that, I went ahead and tossed on an extra weapon, and I also decided to go ahead and run non-auto particle beams. Again, weapon loadout is very much up to what makes sense for you and what you like playing with. But for me, this is what I ended up going with, partly because these little Class A Corvettes don't have enough power to really brawl, though they do have the maneuverability that as long as you stay moving, I haven't been hit too much. So if you do want to go with the auto weapons and do that full auto loadout, go for it. Um, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then if you do a little bit more flipping here, a sixth spot. So you could very easily go ahead and put on like your Vanguard Obliterators or, you know, your what's it called? PBO50s or whatever you want. However, for me, I went with the Disruptor 3310s for my secondary weapon. And then finally, just for giggles, I went ahead and I tossed on a single CE-19 missile launcher. Part of me was admittedly tempted with this Vanguard Tempest one, just to see what exactly it does, but I'm not very impressed by those numbers. All right. Now then, let's go ahead and assign my weapons. All right. And you can see this is 39 power total across all of this, and as mentioned, with the anti-electronic fusion skill, I have 38 reactor power. I will note that if I put Vasco on board, combined with the anti-electronic fusion, that would push me to 39 to be able to fully power all of this. Alright, last things. Let's go ahead and paint this. As mentioned, I did a gray and red scheme. And before I go ahead and quit, though, what are some changes that I would make to this ship if I wanted to go ahead and be able to play with something like this earlier? So, you could very easily replace these engines with something else. If you replace the grav drive with the 300, you could, and had these side connection points, you could very easily go ahead and get, say, the Ares DT30s, and then maybe swap this out with an AMN3. And just as an example for that, you go ahead and delete a few things just to show us all what that would look like. All right, and this is more or less what I would be thinking about there. Um, you can still go ahead and slap an equipment plate up top, or continue doing that glitch in right there to get an extra weapon slot there. And assuming that you do not have, the 33 reactor power engine, or not 33 power reactor, um, just going ahead and grabbing, say, the 134 toroidal gets you basically that ship. Now let me go ahead and just delete this, and you'll see we don't have the cargo. The shield, okay, I didn't change that. We need to swap that for something lighter. But you get 94 mobility on this ship, which is pretty decent for a nice little Corvette. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and take this bad boy on out and see how it performs in Serpentis. Alrighty. Alright, so step one, let's go ahead and use these little ships as they're supposed to be and do a little bit of kiting to start. Alright. Alright, going a little bit too fast. Let's go ahead and slow on down to, 140 is good. And let's start blasting this prophecy. Alright, one down. And then with one left, we can afford to dive in. Whee! Howie! Oh boy! One lucky hit there, and we almost blew up. And that, by the way, is the perfect example of why you don't want to brawl with these little Corvettes. Because if you do get hit, you go down very quickly. Though I will note this is on extreme difficulty. So, if you are playing at lower difficulty levels, you might not struggle as much. So I'm going to go ahead and give this about a minute or so to let my shields get at least up to 50%. There we go. Map. That's what I was going for. The hostile activity. You know what? Let's head on over here first. Okay. Let's slow down to about, woo, not that much. 140-ish. All right. You're supposed to be catching up to me, buddy. All right, fine. We'll dive. Our pieces are all fully repaired, so let's go ahead and see if the ship can dive like the some of these other little Corvettes we run are. There we go. So against two ships, we line it up properly, we can dive in. And of note, we have more than enough cargo to pick up the loot from blowing up a few of these boys. Alright, so let's go ahead and check out the hostile activity and see how well it performs against that. Wait, so only two of them? Well, that's a bit of a disappointment. Oh, that one went down fast. Alright, so on that note, if you watched all the way to the end, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all those YouTube things. And otherwise, I will see you in the next one. Now let's see if we can get a nice picture lined up with that in the background. Ooh, between two planets? That seems like a good one.